Hi, James. Good morning.
Good morning, Torsten. How you doing?
Where do I meet you?
You're actually speaking to me in Annecy, which is a little town about 40 minutes south of Geneva, where I'm actually thinking about potentially moving to next year. So,
All right.
yeah,
I thought you were Australian company. So what are you doing in
I am
France?
an Australian company. Yeah, no, but we're actually in this little position where we're running out of market in Australia, and we've got to expand to Europe
Oh,
or
wow.
the US. But who wants
Okay.
to expand there right now? Um, so yeah, we are looking at Europe expansion, and yeah, as a software company, I can pretty much choose anywhere in Europe I want to live. So this is one of the options floating to the top of the surface.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. You visited the trade show Solar and Storage UK in Birmingham last week. The UK just turned off the last coal-fired power plant after the first one was turned on roughly 150 years ago. So this was quite a historic moment for many in the energy and particularly solar industry. Was that a discussion at the trade show? Was it a topic of discussion at the trade show?
Yeah, so we're at the trade show basically to look at an expansion into the UK, which I think is very likely at this point. Already got lining up our first customers there. And I was really keen to understand what's going on in the UK market. Coal in particular is an interesting one because it's really where it all started, right? The coal industry was started in the UK. And so it's quite a momentous moment internationally. But what's quite funny is it really didn't get a mention at all. Not that I heard. And I think that this is something unique about the market, the sort of behind the meter markets, right? Is that the behind the meter markets, people who are installing, solar on people's roofs are just getting on with the job, right? They're not actually, they're not really focused on what's going on in front of the meter. It's like, well, it's like a little footnote to what goes on for them, and it certainly it creates opportunities for companies because it creates a bit of market volatility and things like that, and there's opportunities for batteries. But um, yeah, it's an industry that just gets busy.
Yeah, sounds good. There seems to be a lot of business, so you can't talk about what's going on in the press and outside your scope. How would you describe the market sentiment in the solar and storage segment? Is there a change in mood with the Labour government now in power? Did you observe that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the like you definitely get the feeling like the industry is just a bit relieved to have a government that is taking the energy transition a bit more seriously and trying to solve some of the problems in the market. I mean, there's some pretty significant issues for the UK as it decarbonises. It's decarbonising rapidly. It's been highly dependent on Russian gas, and there's all these issues that are being created as you're trying to electrify this whole community, and we're seeing this in Australia as well, where you've used up all the good spots to put the wind and solar plants, and the transmission system that you built for your 19th century electricity system is no longer fit for purpose for your 21st century electricity system, where you've got heaps of solar down in Cornwall, but there's no big transmission line to London to get that power to where it's needed. Or there's lots of wind up in Scotland, but there's no, there's skinny little transmission lines through the centre of the country. And so they've got these challenges that they're trying to work through. And I think there's a bit of relief that there's a government that's taking it seriously now and actually trying to get something sorted.
Okay. You provide software to CNI developers, installers. What kind of impact do you see it is having? What's the problem Orkestra is solving? So, what's the benefit you provide?
A number of benefits, but there's a few key ones, and that basically as the industry's grown up, they've tried to move out of the residential installation industry up into the commercial industrial industry. So many installers started life just installing solar systems on people's homes, and then they start taking their processes and systems and they're trying to sell them into into the commercial space. But suddenly they have a very different customer. They're no longer talking to mums and dads that care about the aesthetics and the cost of the system and maybe we get a payback or not, to suddenly this is an investment decision where they're talking to a CFO. And so they need a completely different set of tooling for that. They need tools that can generate the economics of a solution, and that's what Orkestra does. So it enables a solar installer or energy company with a services arm or consultant to basically really efficiently and easily understand the economics of a solar and battery system, but not just that, model hundreds of permutations of different solutions to allow a company to kind of zero in on like, here's the optimal solution for this particular use case that we're trying to solve for at a customer. So a customer might have a problem where they're like, we're trying to reduce our bills, or we're trying to become more energy independent, or we're trying to, decarbonize. And our software is quite good at being able to kind of zero in on the optimal solution to actually fit those problems.
Okay, so the company can actually choose which is the optimization criteria. Is it reduce costs or reduce carbon footprint?
It requires a little bit more, user understanding about how to really drive it to that full degree. But what it allows you to do is set up a site. Within a site, you can have multiple permutations of solar. So you might have a site like an industrial site where you're looking at, between say 100 and a megawatt, 100 kilowatts and a megawatt of solar, and then a battery. And then what happens if we participate that battery into markets? And then what happens if we change the tariff? These are all different permutations of things that can go into that solution. And then we bulk process all the different solutions in a cloud computing array and present all the different solutions to a customer on the other side.
Okay, excellent. Hey, James, thanks a lot for having that espresso with me. I'm sure you're going to go out anytime soon to have a real espresso in a Café Central.
I'm en route to a lovely French cafe here, which actually looks like it's run by Australians. So.
Oh, right. I just learned that the Australian Olympic team brought along 3 baristas to make sure that the Australian Olympic athletes get the best coffee possible, right? So Australia must have turned into a...
So Australian.
Yeah.
Australians take their coffee very seriously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was
awesome.
Different when I was there 30 years ago. So things must have changed down under.
Yeah. You have to come down and visit us.
Yeah. All the best with Orkestra. And please say hello to Oliver Hartley when you see him next time.
I will do.
A bientôt.
Thanks, Torsten. Yeah. See ya.